let's talk investing. So what even prompted you to look into real estate as an investment opportunity, or where'd you hear about it, or how'd you get that idea?
It came up from my realtor / broker. She brought up the idea to my wife and I. She had just come to visit us after, I think, our son was born. And she said, hey, prices are good. They're going up. You guys have a lot of equity in your home. Have you thought about investing? And I hadn't, to be honest, but then she just encouraged me to start shopping around, look at some numbers, and it was going to make sense for us. So we decided to.
Was it that seamless for you guys, or was it a scary prospect at first, or is it something you had even thought about before you had met with her?
It wasn't scary because she said, I've got the resources to help. I've got property management. I have accounting stuff. I can be supportive in all that role for you to get into the real estate investment market.
So you were just confident right out of the bat that you knew it was good?
Confident, but a little apprehensive. But yeah, my realtor was fantastic. She put aside all those fears, explained everything, and it was good to go from there.
Just for the record, who was your realtor?
Lynn Judson.
Judson Real Estate?
Yep.
Was there any resistance, or was it just smooth sailing, like friends, family, colleagues, anyone saying, what the heck are you doing? That's not a good idea?
It wasn't. My dad, I remember him saying, when I first moved to California, I don't know how you're going to afford a home here. And then it was, I don't know how you've afforded 2 homes here. So it was encouraging from the family side. And we were, I think, in our early 30s at the time when we did this. So unusual for the circles we were in, but encouraging from friends.
So speaking of on the topics of California, how can you afford it in the first place? Well, where did the money come from for the investment opportunity? Because that seems to be a big hang up a lot of people have. It's like, well, how do I even get my foot in the door? Where does the money come from initially?
We had a 20% down payment, and we had been building equity in the house. So we were able to cash out, I want to say it was like the $80,000 to $90,000 range. And my wife and I were both working, so our mortgage didn't jump tremendously, and we were still able to afford our house while also using the rental income to support the rental property.
So just to clarify, you're saying the down payment for the investment came from the equity you had in your primary?
Correct.
So basically it was a 2-for-1, essentially.
Yes.
Pretty common thing we see these days, especially with how much equity people have in their homes currently, especially if you bought 2019 or prior, you're sitting pretty good right now.
Yep. So we were in that boat. We bought in 2012. We bought our house in 2012. Market was on the upswing, but still affordable. So we bought our house, and then a couple of years later, we cashed out that equity and were able to buy an investment.
Was it that quick? It was just 2 years down the road?
2 years.
That's not long at all.
Yep.
That's very cool. How'd you pick that property?
We looked around. We focused on San Diego just because rental prices in San Diego are higher than the outlying suburbs. Found a 3-bedroom, which made us be able to charge more rent for the condo. We had to find the right development or the right association that allowed a certain ratio of renters, but our realtor helped us with that, as did our lender. So we focused on one and offered less than asking price at the time. That was still a thing, and ended up meeting in the middle on the final price.
Okay, very cool. Was there anything about that specific property? Was there any criteria? Was location a huge factor, or was it just numbers? Like, here's what it costs, here's what rent is, here's how it pencils. Was it that nuts and bolts for you?
It was in a high demand area of San Diego, so it worked out that way. It had 3 bedrooms, so we could get various roommates paying instead of just a single family who may not be able to afford as much. It happened to be on the 3rd floor of a 3-story unit or 3-story building. So higher demand for the 3rd floor than the 1st floor. No one above you knocking on floors and being annoying. So,
okay, all those little things people don't usually think about when buying an investment.
Right, and I was able to market that way to rent it. 3rd floor unit, no one above you, and you had views. The unit next door was a 2-floor, so you didn't look into someone's window. You had skyline views.
Okay.
So it helped.
So you knew before you even bought it, like, this is a good deal. There was no hesitation when you saw that unit. This is the one. Let's go get it.
Yep, I knew with my realtor's help, I was going to be able to easily charge more than all my expenses on the condo and make money from the get-go.
So, now let's fast forward. You bought it. It's yours. You have some tenants in there. Did it cash flow immediately? Were you seeing money coming in each month from this property?
Yep. It started out, I want to say, in the $200 to $300 a month cash flow. And then as I increased the rent and as the market allowed for me to increase the rent, by the end it was $400, $500, $600 a month cash flow, positive cash flow.
How long did this investment last for? I know you had mentioned that you had sold it, but how long?
We held on to it for 7 years, and it appreciated, I want to say about $160,000, $165,000. So we sold it for $165,000 more than we paid.
Right, and that's all off of money that was equity from your first home, from your primary. So it does $160,000 just poof, just because you own a home already.
Correct.
Not a bad situation.
Yep.
And in that time, in that 7 years, you're collecting monthly rent. You got a whole stream of passive income.
Monthly rent, and also been able to deduct a lot of things as my own property manager on the unit. Like a lot of my regular expenses that I would incur anyway, I was able to put it on my taxes as a tax deduction because I was managing my own property.
So it helped you for tax implications as well. The investment property saved you there, helped you there.
Yep.
Good deal. Is that something you were aware of going in, or did you have to talk to your tax attorney about that, or was that part of your plan?
It was not part of my plan, but and I knew I'd be able to, I'm going to use my phone to talk to my renters and advertise. So I knew I'd be getting some, but there were just additional taxable benefits in owning that rental property.
How confident would you be doing that all over again? Is that something that you would jump into, or was that a bit scary for you, or did it go well? Is it something you do again?
It went well. I managed it myself. I would not be scared about doing it again. I've got the confidence now as a realtor myself, and I guess managing my own property, that I'd be happy to do it again, given the opportunity.
Yeah. Are you actively looking?
Not yet.
Not yet. But it is on the horizon.
It's on the horizon.
Okay.
I don't want to say California is less affordable, but I'm looking at options out of state a little bit. So.
Absolutely. Where out of state?
Near where my family lives, in Indiana and Michigan. So I could, hopefully when I travel there to see them, I've got some more taxable write-offs.
Very cool. So over the years, I know you said you don't have it now, but how have you leveraged that investment, or how has it improved your quality of life? Because you hear all this stuff, passive income, that's great, but what tangible impact has it had on your livelihood or your, family's life?
With refinancing, a few years, as I said, prices were going up. A few years in, we refinanced and cashed out some equity. Even when we cashed out, we were still able to turn a positive cash flow on it. I think we cashed out in $80,000 to $90,000, and my wife and I used that to make upgrades to our primary home. We bought a new HVAC and air conditioner. We installed solar panels. We bought a RV trailer. So we were able to improve our work-life balance with those benefits from cashing out.
So your primary residence bought you an income property. That income property was paying you. That income property then upgraded your primary, which is where this all came from in the first place. So it just kept feeding and feeding you.
Yes.
Just from the get-go, it was just a good deal.
Yes.
Not too bad. What advice would you give to somebody who is interested in investing, buying some real estate for passive income purposes, but has no idea where to start? They don't even know what questions to ask. Where do they go to get the ball rolling?
To me.
Why is that?
I've done it before, and I can help in that whole process. If it pencils out, and it can pencil out a lot easier than some people think. It did that for me. I was thinking, no way can I afford a rental property. But I talked to a lender, crunched the numbers, and my realtor was extremely helpful in helping me realize, my wife and I realized what we could do with an investment property.
Your timing was good too, because you said your primary was in 2012.
Yes.
2013, there was a bit of a run on the market, so I'm sure you saw some serious equity in your primary then. Similar to what is happening now, people who bought in 2019, 2020, their equity in their home is through the roof. Currently. So there's a lot of opportunity there for somebody who may have bought during that time and is looking to do something similar to what you did. So those options are there.
Yep.
Perfect.
Doors are opening.
Doors are opening. Are there investment opportunities in San Diego still, even with the prices so high and the rates so high?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
There's people, homeowners have so much equity in their homes now that it's becoming more of a easier reality for them to understand that I can cash out this equity and use it for rental property, get some taxable benefits that I may not have gotten before while making cash flow happen.
So, another thing people might consider when they're investing, it's great for you. It brings you income, gives you equity, gives you wealth. But did you ever feel like there was some greater good kind of thing that came from it? Did you have any satisfaction knowing you were giving a housing opportunity to somebody who may otherwise not have that? Did that ever come into your mind? Or?
At the beginning, no, but it did over time. It was a 3-bedroom, so I never had a family. I had groups of friends renting together. They were students, they were fresh out of college, just trying to make it in San Diego. So I didn't charge an exorbitant amount of rent. I kept it affordable for them so they could get their foot in the door in San Diego, find a job, and have somewhere close to live and not have to commute 45 minutes.
So let's touch on that a little bit. So you could have even gotten more rent than what you were getting.
Yes.
So your margins could have been even better.
Yes.
Wow.
I could have raised it on them and they may have stayed, I don't know. But they were loyal to me. I wanted to be loyal to them and say, hey, listen, I get you guys are fresh out of college. Some of them were students, and I don't want to, if you guys are going to pay on time, be good tenants of our rental property, I'm happy to keep the rent affordable for you guys.
So this, what you're saying now, you got younger people than they're students, college students. That might sound like a headache, a nightmare to a lot of people looking to invest. You know, it's like, okay, gosh, now I'm a landlord. What do I do? How do I manage these people? I got these tenants. How did you address that yourself, and what advice would you give to a potential investor on how to handle that themselves?
I had the support from my realtor. I could go to her and say, hey, listen, this is my situation. You got any advice for me? And she'd call me back. Here's what I would do, and if it were me, give this a go, try going down this road and see how it works. And it was usually fine. They were reasonable tenants, and
yeah. So not as big of a headache as you thought it would be at all.
No, I'll be honest. I was on vacation. I got a call at 10 p.m. on Sunday night that there was flooding coming from my unit. So I have had those late night insurance calls, and it happens in any investment. You just got to be communicative with your tenants, the other owners below. The insurance company was involved. So just a matter of, it's going to happen in a rental property. It's going to happen in your primary residence. So just be aware of it. Be ready to handle it when it comes up.
So you said you handled it completely yourself, no property manager, no on-call, on-site manager or anything like that. It was all you, and it was totally manageable for you.
Yep, directly with me. I had 3 of them, 3 tenants, over the 3 tenants each year in each of the bedrooms. They all had my phone number. If they had any questions or issues, they called me. If they needed a new appliance, I remember installing a new oven, a dishwasher, and a refrigerator. Did it all myself. Basic tools, basic handyman skills, and easier. Yeah,
perfect. Realtor Lynn, throughout this whole process, was a major asset, really helped you out and made it easy. Now that you're a realtor, do you feel confident that you can provide that same service to another potential investor?
Yes, I do. I can. My realtor was extremely helpful throughout the whole process. Now I know from the realtor perspective how it works. I can help someone who's interested in just getting their feet wet or learning more about it. I'd be more than willing and able to help talk them through the process, encourage them along the way, and be a resource for them throughout everything.
So with you, it's kind of a double whammy, because now you know the business side of the real estate, the transaction, how to purchase, what the contracts look like, everything that goes into that. And now you can really steer somebody to the correct property because you know what the correct property looks like. You know how to make something cash flow.
The right property, help them make it cash flow, and be a resource for them anytime with questions.
Yeah. So if somebody is interested and they want to get in touch with you and discuss this or work with you, how can they get in touch with you?
Yeah, give me a call. Find us at judsonre.com, and we'll be answering your call.
Perfect. Cool. Well, thank you.
Sure.